We got some they-them energy.
And then we'll head to Los Angeles as a new wave of campaign season riots kick off.
There's nothing gained.
Yeah.
There, we'll expose more of the hypocrisy of the radical left as their communities are driven into the ground under their virtue signaling and failed policies.
Fake churches singing, and then we got the communists coming down the stairs.
And now, the federal agents of ICE are stuck doing damage control and cleaning up the mess that Joe Biden and the Democrats caused in the previous administration. And while they continue to attack the federal agents of ICE, liberal cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and Minneapolis crumble farther and farther into the hell of their own making.
Okay, that's the seal of America.
But it's not all bad news here at Law and Border. We'll wrap up in Washington, D.C. for the 250th anniversary of the United States Army as we continue our celebrations across America, honoring the sacrifice of those who bled and died to secure our freedom.
Hey, baby.
Happy birthday, we love you, Trump.
Ben Bergquam with his camera. Truth coming through. Heads up.
Welcome to Law and Border, where we go to the front line to expose the truth about the real attack on America.
This is an invasion. This is an invasion.
You're watching Law and Border with Ben Bergquam.
So we made it to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement building here in Chicago, seeing if there's any protesters. We got a few out here. Let's go see if we can talk to them. What's up? What's that? I can't hear you.
If you don't ask for our permission, we don't allow your recording.
Can I have your permission?
No.
Oh.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, it is public. I'm wondering what you guys are doing out here.
We're just staying in the left.
What's that?
All right, so my roommate
Yeah.
had an asylum hearing this morning. He went to it. I don't know where he is now. He got nabbed.
Where's he from?
He's from China. He's
Okay.
been in the U.S. legally for years. Texted me, I'm arrested. I don't know where he's at.
Oh, he said he's arrested.
He's arrested.
Okay, I thought you said he didn't know where he was at. So they
I
did
don't know
take
where
him.
he's at.
But they did take him. They're blocking me with their umbrellas. All right, so this is the intake doors where the vans come in. We got a few protesters out here. Apparently, they're trying to block the vehicles from coming in. What they don't know is that there's no more vehicles coming today. It is a nice day to be out. It could be a lot worse, so. Hate to burst your bubble, guys. No more vehicles coming today, but if they were to come, what were you guys gonna do? Should anyone be deported? Or should no one be deported? This is my buddy Umi. What is up with the umbrellas? Wait, are you trying to block him from coming over here? What's your name? Why do you cover your face? What are you hiding from?
I'm trying to find my friend.
I totally get you, Ben. This is what I don't get. Well, there you have it, guys. The depth of intellectual conversation in one umbrella right there. That's all you get from the protesters. They can't say why they're here. All they want to do is obstruct ICE from doing their jobs. God bless ICE. God bless Border Patrol. God bless President Trump. God bless Tom Homan. Gotcha. Oh, so close. So close. Almost got behind the umbrella. All right, Umi, you be good. Eyes, you be good too. We got eyes coming. Just want to let you guys know the transports are canceled for the day, so you can go over there and hang out. It's a beautiful day, but just want to let you know. And COVID is over. You don't need the mask unless you're criminals and you're going to commit criminal activity. But otherwise, you don't need the mask, guys.
Don't trust anyone.
Yeah, don't trust anyone wearing masks. I love you. God bless you, sir. If you got to wear a mask to protest, you got problems.
You gotta wear a mask to be an ICE agent.
Yeah, except for when you're being doxxed and they're trying to kill you for doing your job and protecting America. Yeah, right? You're okay with that though, right? Exactly, you don't care. There it is, guys. Libtard here thinks it's okay for Antifa to wear a mask, but not for ICE agents who are being doxxed. These pathetic little communist trolls. So pathetic. You see that? A group of 6 6 or 8 of them. Just total cowards. Total cowards. You get 500 of them against one, then they think they're tough. They're not tough. Apparently they're going to have several thousand. They had several thousand the other day of all these America haters flying their foreign flags, attacking police, attacking ICE, protecting criminal illegal aliens. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. So we've got protesters against Trump and ICE. Father Flagler, that was actually one of Obama's pastors, so-called pastors. Father Flagler, does heaven have a wall?
Pardon me?
Does heaven have a wall?
Heaven?
Yes.
Heaven?
Heaven.
Heaven?
Yes.
Have a what?
A wall.
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
How do you get in then?
Be righteous. Be righteous.
Do you have to repent of your sins?
Let me finish this first. Okay. I don't know who you are.
And as the virtue signaling march begins to wrap up, Jesse Jackson arrives and is wheeled in as their token leader. And it's pretty obvious that his condition is clearly not good.
But why is the Rainbow Push Coalition supporting illegal aliens if illegal aliens disproportionately affect the black community jobs?
That's not true.
It is true. They take jobs, right? But they take your jobs. And the sad part is, I don't even know if Jesse Jackson knows what he's doing out here. He did not look good. He was struggling. It looks like they just propped him up. It's so sad. It's all about fundraising. It's all about money. You heard it at the end. They just want the money that Target promised them for DEI projects. It's all about money. Not about the black community. Not about lifting black men and women out of poverty. It's about putting money in their organization.
And now here they are yet again protesting for the protection of illegal immigrants.
Look who's leading it. It's the Palestinians leading it.
Do you think they see the hypocrisy? Ben tries to find out.
Illegals are illegal. Illegals are illegal. Power to the people. Look at all the professional signs. They're all professionally made. Who's making the signs?
Ben finally finds someone who is willing to talk and not just mindlessly chant in his face.
No, illegals aren't illegal?
No.
They are.
It's illegal on stolen land.
It's not stolen. It's conquered. It's conquered.
Stolen.
It's conquered. We won. They lost.
If that means that if we were here first, works, then we are on stolen land.
No, it's whoever conquered and is in control of the land.
So if we basically come in and wipe out everybody.
Totally. That's the history of the world. I don't say it's, I don't mean it's right. I'm not saying that conquering people.
Are.
No, but we own it now.
We don't own
We do. It's all
here.
property.
No.
You own a house?
No.
Okay. Hey, God bless you. Jesus loves you. Yeah, what do you guys think? All the crazies burning down our country to protect illegals?
Not a big fan of it.
Not a big fan. I'm high five. Can we high five on that? There we go. High five. Yes. God bless you guys.
Up next, we head out to Los Angeles, where the riots threaten to burn down the city.
There's nothing gained.
Yeah.
And every election cycle is like deja vu. The left deploys their violent brown shirts, and this time it's to protect criminal illegal aliens from being deported.
It's the communities that are aiding and abetting protecting them.
And I'm sure that our founding fathers are rolling in their graves to see just how weak-minded and pathetic so many people in this nation have become. Don't go anywhere, because as the left tries to burn down America, we at Real America's Voice want to lift her up by celebrating the 250th birthday of the United States Army. To keep up to date with Ben as he travels to expose the truth about the Democrat destruction of America, follow him on social media at Ben Bergquam and check out his website, frontlineamerica.com.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks. Plus, get coverage of your local teams all year long. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
With riots and violent looting going on all over the country, I don't feel safe leaving the house without this banana. Normally, I would be worried about this creepy guy, but I've got my banana with me. That same car has been sitting outside my house for a while now. Better keep this banana by the door.
Sounds ridiculous, right? Now imagine this banana was capable of incapacitating an attacker from over 60 feet.
At Berna, we don't sell bananas. Go to Berna.com to learn more.
Don't kibble your dog.
Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, Matt.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff.
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means it's ultra-processed at extremely high temperatures that destroy the nutrients in the food. But at Dr. Marty, we gently freeze-dried premium meats, fruit, and vegetables, locking in their nutrients.
Never kibbled.
You got it, kid, and they're gonna love it.
It's just like our new house. I hope you have an American Home Shield warranty. Leaky toilet? Fixed. Oven beyond repair? If AHS can't fix your covered item, then replace it, no matter its age. Sign up today at ahs.com.
This episode of Law and Border is brought to you by PatriotMobile.com. Use promo code RAV for free activation today, only at PatriotMobile.com. We arrive in Los Angeles to the mayhem being caused by Antifa. This well-known terrorist organization is being incited by local politicians like Mayor Bass and Governor Newsom to burn down their own city in support of illegal aliens. Is this the Green New Deal they were talking about? Or are we just headed back into a mostly peaceful summer of love as we go into the 2026 midterms?
We got cops cleaning up burned American flags. God bless America. God bless our police.
Everywhere you look across the city, you see the results of progressive policies that incentivize criminal behavior, drug use, homelessness, and moral decay.
That's what your cities have become.
You see vulgar graffiti defacing historic landmarks, and a generation that has no respect for the rule of law or any of the sacrifices from those who came before them.
These must be your editorialists.
It truly makes you wonder if the politicians that incentivize this type of behavior take any accountability for it, or if they even realize that they caused it. The LA Times must be so proud of the godless, anti-American artwork they've inspired that now defaces their old building.
Apparently somebody got killed at this intersection last night. So much for mostly peaceful, as they were looting the T-Mobile store.
Look, bro. Damn.
That's what the peaceful protests look like.
No, you can't.
No, that's what I'm saying. It is.
But it's not, bro. Like there's some looters in the amongst the crowds, you know.
I know. They take advantage of it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So there's your peaceful protest, T-Mobile, business down here, employing people, obviously selling products, and now shut down because of looters in LA. God bless LAPD. Thanks for your service, guys.
Violent riots have become so normal in Democrat cities across America that store owners preemptively board up their windows, knowing that the police will probably be stood down by their communist mayors and the police chiefs who are on the take. And back at the Immigration and Customs Enforcement building, we find more irony as the people who are trying to do it the right way, going through the legal process of immigration, find out that all of their cases have been postponed, only to deal with the protesters and rioters who are there to protect the illegal aliens.
So made it down here to the ICE office in Los Angeles, just outside. The entire city looks like this. You've got graffiti everywhere, you've got trash everywhere. They've tried to clean it up. They've cleaned up most of the burnt cars, but this is what it looks like. Now, I just want to ask to the Democrats, because this is all Democrats. This is the base of the Democrat Party, the brown shirts of the Democrat Party. Do you think this message is going to change people's mind in support of you? You think tagging and saying F ICE and F Trump and F the police is going to change people's mind in support of you? and make Americans want more illegals in this country and want more thugs in this country and want more jihadis in this country waving their foreign flags and burning the American flag? Karen Bass to the city council and the mayor that sit in that pathetic building over there. You think this is the message that's going to work for you guys? You're criminals. You need to be prosecuted. God bless ICE. God bless President Trump. God bless law enforcement that actually does its job. Antifa, BLM, these jihadis, they're the symptom. It's the foreign governments that are paying for this, and the politicians that are paying for this, and the cartels that are paying for this. That's the root. The communist, jihadists, traitors, both inside our country and then enemies from outside our country. That's the root. This is just getting started. This is just the beginning. You guys better be ready for this. This was intentional. They intentionally let in 15 million illegals because they knew how hard it would be to get rid of them. And now they've weaponized that. So every single time you pick up an illegal, you're going to see this, and it's going to escalate and escalate and escalate on purpose, by design, by the left. It's not about President Trump being mean. It's about the left in America trying to destroy this country from within. And they're using illegals as a tool in that war. This is what they think of you, America. That's the seal of America. This is what they think of law enforcement, our rule of law, our country. You think the citizens of LA are getting sick of this?
They got us. They kicked in a bunch of windows over there. They got graffiti. I mean, and this is pristine. This is downtown LA. Yeah. This is where people want to come visit.
Yeah.
I mean, what does this prove? What is this? I mean, what advantage do they get after doing this?
Yeah.
You know, I come in early morning. Now we got to do all this the rest of the day.
For nothing.
For nothing. There's nothing gained.
Yeah. There you go, Democrats. Well, good morning to you from LA, where the trash, the graffiti left behind by the, as he called them, peaceful rioters. This is what you did. This is what Democrat policies have brought to Los Angeles and every other major city in America. Are you happy? Keep voting for Democrats? You're going to get more of this. God bless President Trump. God bless Tom Homan. God bless ICE. There you go. Viva la Raza. The race. So this is it. La Raza. This combination of Antifa, BLM, La Raza in LA. For those of you that aren't familiar, the race. It's a Mexican separatist group in the United States that wants to secede from America, believes that California doesn't belong to America, that it's so-called stolen land, and they're going to take it back. Irony of all of it is these guys hate America, say it's stolen from Mexico, but ignore the fact that Mexico, aka Spain, stole it from the indigenous people to begin with. So basically, you're mad that our nation conquered your nation after your nation had conquered another nation. Suck it up, crybabies. Suck it up. You lost, and you're going to lose again.
Don't go anywhere, because when Law and Border returns, we're back in Los Angeles to expose more of the enemies within.
Fake churches singing, and then we got the communists coming down the stairs.
And stick around for the ending of the show, where we celebrate America and pay tribute to those who sacrificed for us over the last 250 years.
Freedom to speak your mind. Freedom to protest policies you don't like. Freedom to start a business. Freedom to own property. Freedom to vote. Freedom to flourish. It's easy to take these things for granted, but for many people around the world, freedom is merely a dream, and those who fight for it risk losing everything. Their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/rev today to help freedom become a reality for people fighting back against authoritarianism. With your gift, gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an exclusive Atlas Network hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. Atlas Network was founded to help pro-freedom organizations around the world develop, implement, and defend policies that foster freedom against tyranny. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code now to help us make freedom a reality for millions of people around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive hat.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
Another beautiful LA landmark. Trashed with spray paint. Way to go, Democrats. Way to go, Karen Bass. Viva Mexico. ACAB, which stands for All Cops Are... I'll let you fill in the rest. It's like that all over the city. Graffiti everywhere. This is the best part of LA. There is no best part of LA anymore. It's all being trashed by these same scumbags. Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think it's a shame. It's a beautiful building. I used to live here, and now I'm here on business, and I just love this building. And I walked out of the hotel, and I was just devastated. I can back their cause, but I can't back the graffiti. This is not doing them anything, and this is just awful, just awful. And obviously they're boarding the door, so they must have...
They broke the windows.
Broke the windows, and God, I just can't believe it. Not on this. I mean, not on... It's just sad. It's sad.
And it's everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, this is just architecture. Architecture that they're ruining. I mean, the trash can, whatever. But architecture, this is beautiful stuff. This isn't doing them any good. It's not having people, like, be on their side, you know, for their cause. When I see this, it angers me, actually. So it's sad. It's sad.
Broke the windows, busted in, spray painted. I tell you what, you spray paint Viva Mexico on landmarks in liberal cities, you're even going to lose your Democrat base. Yeah, there you go, guys. That's what people want to see. If you want more of this, and you live in a Democrat city, keep doing the same thing you're doing. If you don't, stop. Ruben, so what do you think about all this vandalism?
I'm not agreeing with all these vandalisms. I'm not agreeing. I don't think this is the right way to make a protest to get what you want. Yeah. That's not the way.
Are you a legal immigrant? Are you a U.S. citizen now?
I'm a U.S. citizen, but I'm coming from Mexico, yeah.
How long you been here?
Here in L.A. I have around 32 years. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm coming from Houston. Yeah.
What do you think about the people that are burning the American flag and flying the Mexican flag?
That's the same. I'm not agreeing.
Yeah.
I'm not agreeing because this country made me what I am. I've never been arrested. I not even have a ticket right now. So for me, that's the right way to be in the United States.
Amen.
Yeah.
What do you think of President Trump?
I think he's doing what he thinks, and I don't have to say nothing wrong about him because he's a president. What I can do? Yeah. I don't want to do what this guy's doing because I agree with that. So that's what I think. I don't know, man.
If only we had more Rubens and less of these leftist lunatics.
What church are you from?
I'm not Hollywood United Church of Christ.
Okay. From a biblical standpoint, are there any people that should be able to be deported from the country?
No, every story in our sacred scriptures are about traveling people, are about people migrating. It's at the core of our faith. And God's love, God does not know boundaries, God does not know borders, and so we're here declaring that and saying that immigrants are holy.
So you don't think that heaven has borders?
Absolutely not. Our commandment is to welcome the stranger.
But how do you get into heaven?
Loving God, loving the neighbor.
So does that mean everybody goes to heaven?
Well, we're kind of losing focus of why we're here. We're here.
Well, I'm just wondering, because the Bible's pretty clear that the wall around heaven's pretty high and the gate is very narrow. And many will try to enter from the wide gate, but he says enter through the narrow gate.
Again, we want to stay focused on why we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, have a good day. That's called heresy. Everyone's welcome. That's not true.
Just to be clear, Jesus was not an illegal alien, and he never supported breaking the law. When his family went to Egypt, Egypt was a part of the Roman Empire. It would be the same as someone leaving California and going to Arizona to escape the tyranny of Gavin Newsom. And the Weirdo of the Day award goes to this guy, wearing his pink bandana and useless virtue-signaling mask.
Because of the spray paint. That's the only reason why they're here. But what did Bass and Newsom say? Oh, they're stoking the fires. Have you seen these National Guards anywhere else?
Look,
No, hold on. No, shut up. Did you see them anywhere else? Before you go, did you see them anywhere else?
Some people would say that they were brought here because it's part of a plot to declare martial law.
Oh, really?
Because when you make it look scary, for the people in the middle of the country, then they are against all of this peaceful protest. They're against
peaceful protest.
Military force against civilians.
Okay, they're against peaceful protest, but yet they haven't moved from that spot since they've been here. But you guys out here
in 12 hours, in 2 days, in 3 days.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
It's a threat.
Explain the cars burning.
The threat to the people.
Explain why.
I'm not going to say that the cars burning was a good thing.
She's trying to tell me that everything that's going on is basically for a good reason. Like she just got done saying, like they were brought in to put fear into the public, but yet they never left that spot. They were only there because of right here. They've been right there this whole entire time. They haven't bothered a single person, and yet all these people are mad at their job.
What makes you support President Trump?
I like somebody who can just speak their mind. I've liked him since the first term because he says what he's going to do. When he says what he's going to do, he does it. It may not last long, but it still get done. When they say you won't build a wall, he was building the wall. When he says you couldn't ban Muslims, he banned Muslims, at least for like about 6 months, I think it was. So any president that makes the government pissy, I'm all for. Now, everybody was like that in the government, we wouldn't have a problem like this. But there's only a few people in the government that actually have some kind of dignity. When it was all said and done, with Trump in office, people can afford to live. With Trump out of office, everyone is screwed.
So you're talking a lot about black folks coming together, whites and Hispanic, but what about everyone coming together?
No, because everybody...
But you like Trump. He's a white guy.
Oh, no. One thing I say about Trump, he's a black soul and a white man's body. Who else can get charged with crimes, get away, and then find out that they were crimes, and then turn around and then try to fire you from your job, try to throw you in prison? Only black folks know what that's like. It's like, you want to fire me? Okay. Wait, you want to throw me in prison now? Yeah.
For nothing.
So with Trump, it's like he's a black man in a white man's body.
That's funny.
Like that. So, and plus, let's face it, he's the only president that we thought Obama would have been, and that is somebody who would have pissed off the government. Trump did it. Unfortunately, Obama didn't. He chose government, and nothing wrong with that because you got to pick your sides. But it's just bad that the one person that helped out black folks was Donald Trump.
So we got this message over here. Death to America. The so-called peaceful protesters, that's the mindset, not of everybody, but of enough of them. I got Aaron Burnett here too. Does CNN denounce Death to America? Can we at least common ground on that? Aaron, can we common ground on CNN denouncing Death to America? At least on that. I mean, I know you guys will never denounce the invasion that Joe Biden and the Democrats invited, or protecting criminal MS-13 members, but at least the death to America. Aaron, anything? I figure we could at least find common ground on denouncing death to America. Apparently not with CNN.
My guess is that Erin Burnett won't be putting him on CNN tonight. But speaking of her...
She didn't want to talk to me, but she's right over there, hiding over there. Fake news in the house. Fake news, Erin Burnett.
When Law and Border returns, after 3 days of mayhem, Gavin Newsom finally sends in the Highway Patrol to help the National Guard restore law and order.
Yeah, they're not messing around today.
It begs the question, though, why would he wait 3 days? Why would you let your city burn? And why would you protect illegal aliens over law-abiding American citizens? Ben and the Law and Border team look for the answers to these questions when we get back. And be sure to stick around for a special musical tribute by our very own patriotic entertainer, Dave Bray, USA.
This was the last thing my Charlie ever wrote. The message of Jesus changes everything, changes your life, your choices, your eternity. And Charlie wanted to leave behind something that would point people to Christ, not to fame or power, just truth.
If everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
And my husband called his final book, Stop in the Name of God, because resting in God's grace is what our world has forgotten to do. So just stop and listen, believe and rest, because this is Charlie's final and greatest message to all of us.
I'm actually finishing a book. So I actually don't work one day out of the week. So I take a Sabbath every Saturday. Turn my phone off, no work, just kids, just family. It's an amazing blessing. Every Saturday, totally off. It's amazing how much work you can get done in 6 days, though. I believe that honoring the Sabbath is the commandment that allows you to honor the other 9 commandments. When you're honoring the Sabbath, it's easier to have no other gods before God, because that day is built in time as a temple, as a sanctuary to put God first, to not have idols. If you are feeling overrun by society, you might be feeling depressed or anxious, turn your phone off for one day. No social media, no work. Your mental health will improve dramatically. You can hang out with friends, you can go for a walk, but don't work for one day. That is a day for worship. That is a day for the Lord. That is a day to go be with God. That is a day to read your Bible and be out of the busyness and the hurriedness and the noise of this world. I could be traveling for 5 or 6 days, but if I at least get one good Sabbath with my family, it charges all back up.
Call, scan, or go online to support TPUSA and receive your copy of Charlie's final book.
This episode of Law and Border is brought to you by PatriotMobile.com. Use promo code RAV for free activation today, only at PatriotMobile.com.
So we got police. We got police here. We're on Alameda. Got National Guard. God bless them. We got ICE here outside the facility. Had a little bit of action earlier when they brought one of the buses in. It looked like with illegals. Had some leftists try to attack it. Got some tear gas.
Okay, we'll go to the sidewalk.
After 3 days of riots, looting, and mayhem, Governor Newsom finally sends in the Highway Patrol to help restore law and order.
Don't come in here. Come on.
One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time. One at a time.
And Ben and the team find themselves in between 2 police lines as mass arrests are taking place.
These two are with me.
He's with me too. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, they're not messing around today. We got another mass arrest happening. They almost didn't let press out. We got out. They almost wouldn't let us. If you didn't have press credentials, you're getting arrested.
The American philosophy is really quite simple. You stop the domestic terrorists who are burning down your cities in the name of communism, open border leftism, and anarchy. You let the local police and federal agents of ICE do their job and provide immediate consequences for the criminals and those who stand in the way of law and order. The left was happy to unjustly persecute and imprison innocent January 6ers. It's about time we return the favor for the actual criminals, traitors, and violent agitators who put themselves between the illegal immigrants and the right hand of the law. At least, not in a state that is being run by politicians who are on their side. That is exactly why real Americans who actually care about the future of this nation need to get out and vote.
God bless them. Yeah, a bunch of America haters. We say God bless you.
So listen closely, Democrats. When the police give you a command and you don't want to get beat up or shot, do yourself a favor and follow the command.
Back that way. Go that way. Go that way. Sit down.
And whoever thought it was a good idea to start blocking the freeways to protest clearly didn't ask anyone who has to commute to work for their opinion. I can't think of a worse way to try to get people on your side than to add frustration to their daily commute. It's about time these idiot Democrats allowed law enforcement officers to do their job, rather than bowing down to the BLM and the thug mobs who are supporting illegal immigrants.
So they've got 101 shut down. Had protesters coming on 101, got off the freeway, and then they went down and confronted them, got in their face, and shut the 101 down again. So everybody that's trying to get home is all stuck back there, all because of a bunch of crybaby protesters who want to throw their tantrum. All you're doing is pissing more people off.
Ironically, just down the street from where all of this is happening is an area known as Skid Row. There, the largest population of homeless people in America suffer. As fraud is being exposed all over the country, from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, let's just pray that our politicians will start to prioritize their own citizens once again over the criminals and the illegal invaders. Sadly, it's just another day in Los Angeles, where a mentally ill drug addict holds a knife to his own throat and screams at passersby. And block after block, the human misery continues. And it's no wonder businesses are leaving California in droves. Imagine the insanity of paying for a business license, paying the outrageous rent, and doing it the right way, only to have some schizophrenic drug addicts being allowed to destroy your property and piss on the business you've worked so hard to grow.
And rather than focusing on actually fixing homelessness, Gavin Newsom and the Democrats, Karen Bass, are out there promoting more illegals, attacking ICE. Instead of dealing with this, Skid Row and every major Democrat city in America, they continue this. They invite more of this. They spend billions and billions of dollars to pay so-called homeless advocacy groups just to keep people homeless. Because they don't actually do anything to stop the cycle. They don't do anything about the drug addiction. They don't do anything about the mental health. They just keep people homeless. They keep giving them tents. They keep giving them money, instead of actually doing things to fix it. While the Palisades were burning down, we had Democrats in LA worried about illegal aliens and keeping bums out on the streets. Instead of getting bums off the streets and helping people get a better life, they're worried about protecting illegals, not stopping fires, not putting American citizens first, protecting illegals. That's what Democrats care about. That's their priority. And sadly, many of the people in the Palisades are living like this now, too, because they can't get the permits to build their damn houses because of the same bureaucrats. Yeah, imagine living here. Imagine trying to run a business
And right around the corner, you won't believe what Ben finds.
Of course, we got the Palestinian flag over there. Bums for Palestine. All the way down, block after block. This is what voting for Democrats has done for you. What's that? Yeah. Yeah. Where you live out here?
Yeah.
How long you been here?
Up and on like my whole life.
You grew up in LA?
Yeah.
What got you on the streets? Drugs or crime or?
I just never really had
bad home.
Never really had a healthy home.
Yeah. Did you have a? Oh, sorry about that. What happened? Did you have a good home life or bad? No. You got him, bro?
Yeah.
Hey. God bless you, man. Unbelievable. So Skid Row spending billions of dollars COVID testing. Can you believe that? Is that crazy? This is how insane the Democrats are in California. The city and the state are going to hell, but what are we spending our money on? COVID testing. That's what they're doing out there. Unbelievable, guys.
And here's one last view of how Democrats want you to live before we head back out of town.
Oh, yeah, coming over. Yeah. Yeah, and the crazy thing is all these same people that talk about fixing homelessness, wasting billions of dollars, not actually fixing homelessness. You come down here through Skid Row and all of these communities, almost all black, 90% so-called people of color. The same people that are out there marching for Black Lives Matter and all that, not doing a damn thing to actually help the people in the streets, just keeping them homeless and hiding the fact that they're wasting your tax dollars on COVID testing. They're spending money on COVID testing. Unbelievable.
And as we wrap up, we witness a high-speed pursuit in progress, almost like the icing on the cake of the leftist policies in action.
Dozen cops chasing this guy, having to deal with this because they've got Soros prosecutors across California and all over these Democrat states and cities that don't prosecute. So you got criminals out there that feel like they can get away with anything, and cops stuck in the middle, and the city's stuck in the middle, and all these people stuck in the middle. It's an intentional disaster caused by Democrat policies.
When Law and Order returns, we're headed to Washington, D.C. to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States Army. And as we get ever so close to the 250th anniversary of our country, the question is, how many more years will we last? It all comes down to we the people. Are we willing to stand up and put our citizens and our country first again? Or will we let the looters and the traitors win? And be sure to stick around for a special musical tribute by our very own patriotic entertainer, Dave Bray, USA.
Yikes. A leaky refrigerator coil card. Oh no. But your future is bright with an American Home Shield warranty to protect your covered home system. Don't worry, be warranty.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shopped. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
Guys, if you plan to retire in the next 20 years, or if you've already retired, I have a message for you that you need to hear. Central banks, BRIC nations, and our allies are pumping trillions of dollars back into America, but every dollar they send could make your savings worth less. Hi, I'm Donald Trump Jr., and I just want you to be prepared for the future. So protect your hard-earned savings with gold. A gold IRA from my trusted friends at the Birch Gold Group offers you the safety net of gold with the tax advantage status of a retirement account. To see how it's done, click the link below to get a free info kit on gold IRAs. This kit reveals why gold IRAs are exploding in popularity, so do it now. What do you have to lose? It's free and there's no obligation. Click the link below to get your free info kit from the Birch Gold Group.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
This episode of Law and Border is brought to you by PatriotMobile.com. Use promo code RAV for free activation today, only at PatriotMobile.com.
Well, I hadn't been back here since it's been done, but I want to bring you guys out and see it. BLM, Black Lives Matter Plaza, is back to American Plaza. Not racist, not one color plaza, just a street in Washington, D.C. that leads up to the White House. That's a representative for all Americans, regardless of the color of your skin. Better days are back in America. Thank God President Trump won. Thank God the traitors lost, but we still have a lot of traitors in our government, in our agencies that need to be taken out. It's pretty simple, really. Put the American citizens first, deport all illegals, end racist DEI. MAGA, baby! Next generation, guys. Counterculture used to be communism. Now it's MAGA. If you're a communist, jihadist, traitor to this country, you got to go. All right, baby. Washington, D.C.
Then heads to the Capitol Mall as Real America's Voice News special coverage of the 250th Army Parade gets underway.
We need men to be men again, dads to be dads again, warriors to be warriors again. Masculinity. God bless masculinity.
Can you even imagine if Kamala Harris and the fraudster Tim Walz had actually won the election? Thank God we got President Trump back. And what an incredible parade celebrating the history of the United States Army in America. We here at Law and Border honor all who serve, especially those who paid the ultimate price. God gives us our freedoms, but it's these brave warriors who preserve them.
Patch, as the oldest continuously serving division in the U.S. Army, the unit has participated.
From the troops to the tanks to the guns and the bombers, this parade has it all.
From West Point's famed class of 1916.
This is awesome. This is lame. The lamest Americans right there. The best Americans right there.
And God bless the patriots who love this great nation.
God bless America. Trump is your president.
Trump is the one.
That's right, baby.
Happy birthday. We love you, Trump. We out here showing our support.
What do you think about all these people marching for illegals across America, trying to burn down our country?
I think it's absolutely insane. Absolutely ridiculous. You live here. Why would you want to tear up your own country? It makes absolutely no sense. Come on now. We got to stick together. We're Americans. I don't understand why our own citizens don't like their own country. It makes absolutely no sense to me. They're burning their own flag. It makes no sense. It's ridiculous. They're insane, these liberals. They got to get it together.
I love it. What's your name?
All right, I'm Demetria.
Demetria.
Yes.
God bless you. I'm Dan. While the left is burning the American flag, MAGA honors it. Beautiful day in Washington, D.C.
And we wrap up the day with one of the most spectacular fireworks displays ever seen. And lighting up George Washington's monument. I only pray that we as a country can live up to his courage, his commitment to this nation, and the echoes of his patriotism.
That's what we were waiting for. Thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Law and Border. Speaking of standing up, we're in Minneapolis right now. Stay tuned for new episodes coming up showing the insanity that continues to spread this cancer across America. But this week, our very own Dave Bray, USA, patriotic entertainer, has a song specifically for this. It's called Stand Up. It's a message to every patriotic American. Now is the time. Dave Bray, USA, support his music on a mission. God bless you guys. God bless America. DaveBrayUSA.com.
This is for everybody out there that has America in their hearts. I think we got some patriots out there, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Well, I've been around for long enough to know when it's time to stand up to evil, and it's right outside the door. They've taken everything they can. I've had about all that I can stand, and I ain't about to let them take no more. 'Cause every one of our leaders has betrayed the oath they swore, the promise made to the people as they take away our freedom. And the only way I can see it fixed is to rid ourselves of these politics. Drain the swamp, smoke them out, and bleed them. But if you still believe in America, let me see you stand up. Put your hand over your heart and count your lucky stars. You're living free. Everybody stand up. Thank the Lord above. It's time to stand up for what you believe. So if you still believe in America, say I believe. 'Cause I've been around for long enough to see a pretty good piece of God's green earth, and let me tell you, there's no other place where the mountains touch the big blue skies and the rivers that are running far and wide to the oceans through those amber waves of great game. There's a flag that always flies to remind us of the ones who died in our freedom and the sacrifice for it all. But it's up to us, the time is now to come together, stand our ground against the ones who want that flag to fall. But if you still believe in America, let me see you stand up. Put your hand over your heart and count your lucky stars. You're living free. Everybody stand up and thank the Lord above. It's time to stand up for what you believe. So if you still believe in America, yeah, if you still believe in America, and you want that flag to always fly, to keep the American dream alive, with freedom and justice for us all. Well, then it's up to us, the time is now to come together, to stand our ground against the ones who want that flag to fall. So if you still believe in America, yeah, if you still believe in America, say I believe. Put your hand over your heart. I believe in America. Say I believe. Thank the Lord above.
if you love that one as much as we do, do me a favor, take your phone, click that QR code, download the song, send it to your friends and family, and buy some of the merchandise on that website. Let Dave Bray know that you love him, you love America. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Next time on Law and Border, we go from LA to the San Diego border and Tijuana.
We're going to start here on the Mexico side, and we're going to head over to the U.S. side
to investigate the tunnels that the cartels use to traffic drugs, weapons, and humans. Joe Biden and the Democrats allowed more illegals and drugs to pour into our country than ever before. But now, thanks to Donald Trump, our borders are secure again. So the question remains, how are the cartels responding?
They're just securing narcotics crossing to the United States.
And if you want to find out, you'll have to tune in next time to Law and Border as Ben and his team hits multiple points across the southern border.
We love Border Patrol and ICE for doing their job.
And we'll be heading back out with the federal agents of ICE, as well as checking in on our northern border, also known as the Forgotten Border.
Going undercover.
And that's how desperate they have gotten.
All this and more next time on Law and Border.
Imagine this banana is a burner less lethal launcher, capable of shooting rock-hard kinetic and tear gas mixed with pepper chemical irritants.
The ammo can incapacitate an attacker from 60 feet away without causing death.
This Byrna less lethal launcher is legal in all 50 states. No permits required.
Over 600,000 Byrna pistol launchers have been sold to government agencies, law enforcement agencies, and to private citizens.
Do you want to know what the Byrna less lethal launcher looks like? Visit Byrna.com.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
To the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here, and on this episode of Last Call, we have a special report edition, fraud from the Somalis. What is going on in Minnesota? We are going to break it all down, put it all together for you so you understand what is being run on you, the American taxpayer, the biggest scam in the history of America. We'll get into all that and so much more. A big show tonight. I'm ready. Frankie's ready. You better be too, and let's go.
Man, did he make a good speech. Thank you, Mike. You have big plans for the future, and we're with you.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here, coming to you live from New York. Saturday night, Real America's Voice. Great to be back with you. Last week's show was a doozy. And joining me, as always, through thick and thin, when the news cycles are insane and when the news cycles are a little bit more chill, the most bass producer in the game. I think he's eating bananas and rice over there behind the keyboard. Frankie, are you channeling your inner Somali over there? What's going on, Frankie?
Relax. Only spaghetti with fork, spoon, combination. All right, that's what you're going to see out of me. Good to be here.
They say there's like a quote out there that says you can like look into the soul of like a population based on how they eat, like their eating habits. I think about it, like in some countries, like they don't use silverware, they just eat with their hands and all this. In some, it's like very proper. Think about Japan, like they're cutting the sushi and it's very like portioned out. Like in Italy, it's like it's the pastas and the intricate dishes with all the spices and sauces. And then in Somalia, it's gravel, okay, with stuff sprayed on top of it. So there you go. Just ask Jacob Fry what he thinks about Somali food. So anyway, I do want to start the show here by saying that last week was a wild episode because obviously the whole Alex Preddy thing, the scam, the Antifa connection, all of that is the terror cell that is protecting Somali fraud. That's why it happens in Minnesota. That's why Tim Walz was chosen as the vice presidential candidate, because he can tap into this vast fraud network, which he did. That's why Kamala raised so much money. And this is all done to enrich Democrat politicians in a way, I think, that we've never seen before in terms of the scale of the organized crime. I think this goes up to the top. I think this goes to the bottom, and everyone in between taking a piece of it, allowing, empowering, enabling, and coaching this Somali population, totally void of any morality, okay? Totally void of any morality. They're not Christians over there in Somalia. They're like some type of, tribal pirate belief system, okay? These are not normal people. And these people are carrying out the mass scale fraud, which is taking billions of your tax dollars, washing it through, getting a lot of it back to the politicians. They're getting rich too. The voting bloc is happy. They stay in power. A lot of them make money. They donate it out to other campaigns around the country. They donated a lot of it into the 2024 presidential campaign for Kamala. And we have seen a model that, unfortunately, I think they'd like to replicate in a lot of major cities across the country. Now, this whole Somali thing started, I think it was back in the day, Frankie, there was a civil war in Somalia, and we took a couple of refugees. We took like 80,000 refugees. We moved them to Minnesota because it was cheap. We were doing our goodwill, our charity as America. You take in refugees. This happened years ago, 30, 40 years ago. We take in these people, we put them in the country, they're there. I guess it's a nice thing to do. It's only 80,000 people, no big deal. They're skillless and they're clinically retarded, but who cares, right? I mean, it's a good thing to do as America. But then the unchecked, encouraged, NGO-enabled invasion starts. These Somalians aren't even smart enough to use a fork. You think they're smart enough to figure out how to get into America and finesse our entitlement system? So how is that all happening? And what are they doing? I am of the firm belief that this population was coached and made a deal, and that they carry out what they need to do because they are the dumbest of the earth. How is that racist? It's not racist. It's true. They have the lowest IQ per capita on the planet. The perfect people for the modern day vile, vicious, globalist, anti-American leftists to capitalize on. Do you see how that's kind of like a marriage, a match made in heaven? And when you bring people into the country in an unchecked fashion, you give them the entitlements, you get them voting rights, you help them become naturalized. By the time you realize it, you have elections in Minnesota being decided on ancient tribal alliances. and not on, things that used to matter in America, like taxes and, fixing roads and, infrastructure projects. And no. It's about Somali conflicts that go back to the other side of the world. So instead of these people being grateful when they got here for everything America has done for them, they became co-opted by some very bad, smarter people, Democrats, and they became part of what has become since the biggest fraud scheme in the history of the world, I think. And I believe, Frankie, it was actually Democrats who started, reeling in a little bit of the Somali fraud, because they were like, this is getting out of hand. You can't be doing it at this level.
None
now,
of the
they
money's
probably were
going
doing
to
that
me.
because they probably weren't. Yeah, exactly. You took the words out of my mouth, because I was going to say they probably did it because they weren't getting enough kickbacks. So they said, all right, we're going to start indicting you. You're not kicking us back enough. But it is very bad. And on this episode, we do want to talk a little bit about that. We want to break down things we're seeing, things we're hearing, just so you know the true extent of what's going on. So let's start with how Somalis, people say it's remember when Elon Musk Doge was saying that people are claiming welfare and they're claiming Social Security until the age of 130, and that, they're taking these benefits when they're dead, and everyone said that was unfounded. Remember that? And then you say, all right, could that possibly, that was Elon Musk talking more broadly, Somalis are fraudsters, but I thought they're just fraudsters with daycares, right? Watch this clip. You'll be mind blown. Roll it.
You ever looked at cardiac arrests involving Somalis? It's like, I kind of grokked what she was getting to, and I was like, you mean are Somalis dying of natural causes and being reported? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I was talking with Minneapolis police officers, and none of them ever remember responding to a cardiac arrest, aneurysm, stroke of a older Somali person. And just looking at the actuarial tables, you would think 100,000 people out there, the odds say that some of them are going to have heart attacks, they're going to die, and then the police or the emergency services are going to be called to respond. None of the police officers ever remember going to a Somali DOA. And so I go to some of my sources in the Lewiston Police Department and ask, do you remember ever responding to Somali DOA's cardiac events? They start laughing. We were just talking about this at the station, and no one really remembers responding to Somali DOAs. So what's happening? Based on that sample, it's not totally scientific, but we know there's some natural deaths happening from medical events within the Somali community that are not being reported to the state, to the medical authorities, to EMS. Now, why is that? So what happens if grandma's got subsidized senior housing, an EBT card, and Medicaid benefits, and you report that she's passed away? Okay, so those benefits get shut off. Everybody can understand, you just keep the benefits going. This is how you end up with Social Security, or more so the EBT cards, benefits going to dead people. But what are they doing with the bodies?
That's what I was going to ask.
What are they doing with the bodies?
It's this music.
Well,
I don't know.
Interesting when they find that.
Okay. So, and that clip, that's serious. It's obviously happening. Again, these people, they're not like you and me. Oh, you die, you go to the funeral home. This is how stupid these leftist, whites are, okay? The puffy liberal women. They are so ridiculous. They can't think that these people wouldn't, they're not like us as a society. Someone dies, you call, they come, DOA, dead on arrival, they take them to the morgue, they put them in the funeral home, they have the funeral, they lay them into the ground, you have a ceremony. These people come from the third world. They come from the worst conditions on the planet. And by the way, do you see the footage of these areas in Minneapolis where the Somalis have inhabited? I've been to foreign countries and I've passed through the third worldist areas, in certain third world countries. It just looks so run down, so dilapidated. And it's uncanny how these people, within a decade of being here, make the streets of America look like the third world shithole in which they came from. That didn't exist in Minnesota 50 years ago. You didn't see streets that looked like hellscapes from Somalia. I'm telling you, go look at some of these videos and pay attention to the surroundings in which places like Nick Shirley and John Rocker and anybody else there. Go look at the surroundings when they're walking around. Just look how bad it is. It doesn't look like America. These people live completely different. How could you be called racist for saying that? Again, the statistics are that half of them are inbred and half of them are malnourished. Because there's severe disease and severe food shortage, and they're all inbred. So statistically, 80% of them have serious deficiencies. You think that they're calling up the funeral home and burying the bodies? What do you think they're doing? Somebody taught them that you could scam the system this way and you can keep making money. What skill are they going to contribute? Oh, Mike, your Italian ancestors came. They were immigrants too. My ancestors, they built the subway. They opened restaurants. They were carpenters. They were construction workers. They were accountants. They did things. These people don't do things. They come from the land of pirates. So how does it happen? Yes, Frankie, go ahead.
I'll just say, hey, there's one thing that they could possibly help us out with in the future. They're going to bring the prices of homes down in Minnesota when they start digging up Granny in the backyard and they sell the place. What is happening, Mike? Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it's just when you have a world that is from such a distant land that I think people are just, they're not well traveled. They just haven't been to other places. Like, you don't understand how different the world is in other places of the world. And everyone wants to kumbaya, Frankie, the libs. Oh, we're one big globalist world, and oh, this is so great, and oh, they love us. Those Somalis would slit your throat. I said it last week. They'll slit your throat for a nickel. You think they care? You think one Somali cares about Renee Good or Alex Preddy? They don't give a damn. It's people like Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison who are sitting there behind the scenes laughing with the leaders of the Somalis. And when I say leader, that's the guy with the 72 IQ, by the way. Get it? That's the leader of the Somalis. And they're laughing at you. They're laughing at how they take advantage of the liberal white. So who's really the stupidest person? I mean, if those people are getting one over on us, then what is the IQ of the American liberal white? Again, they've done a lot to try to destroy the IQs of Americans. Putting chemicals in the water, destroying the food supply with toxic sludge. The school system is extremely destabilized. 24/7 propaganda to dumb you down in the news. So yeah, maybe the IQs are now evening out. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on it. This is Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison, directly in line with this crime. Roll it.
The election is very important.
Yes, it is.
So, can you tell us why the Somali communities are very important for the election?
Well, the Somali community is critical. In my own election, I wouldn't be in office without the help of the Somali community. Okay. Somali voters came out in very large numbers and were able to register people to vote. Very recently I think there was several thousand Somalis who were just naturalized as U.S. citizens. Yeah. Somalis can make a huge impact on this election. And I can tell you without a doubt, it's not just in Minnesota that Somalis make a big difference in the election. Also in Ohio, which is a battleground state. Somalis that are in Columbus, Ohio, and in Virginia, all have a role and opportunity to play a very...
So you hear, he asks about how they can impact. And all this guy does is go back to what he's really talking about behind closed doors, is that it's a numbers game. He's not saying, oh, they're going to contribute because they're going to build businesses and they're going to create jobs and all this. He goes back to this depraved talking points on these numbers that they're running behind the scenes, talking about if they import enough and enable enough to do fraud to distribute out to the communities, okay? So they're happy, they're in on it, they'll go take care of what they need to take care of. And they're a bunch of low IQ thugs. You see the Somalis get in the face of the Americans who show up at the daycare centers. More on that in a minute. But let's talk about Keith Ellison a little bit more. This is happening in the Minnesota State House. People are calling out the fact that this guy, in recorded conversations, is complicit with the crimes. Roll it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Attorney General was asked in those recordings to use his authority to protect businesses under investigation for wrongdoing, and rather than distance himself or remain neutral to allow the legal process to unfold, he responded in those recordings, "Of course, I'm here to help."
Mr. Speaker. Point of parliamentary inquiry.
State your point of parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, there was a point of order, and I didn't hear a ruling or any resolution of the point of order. Was there a resolution to it?
They try to slow this
I'll
down.
remind the body that there was no ruling made by the Speaker as to the point of order that was just stated. Representative Niska.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Attorney General in those recordings even urged the individuals, let's go fight these people. He was offered campaign contributions during that meeting, contributions that he later accepted. The release of those audio recordings raises questions about what's going on in the Attorney General's office that go directly to the need to pass the legislation that we had previously debated, House File 20. Although he has insisted that nothing came of the meeting, his office blocks disclosure of closed investigative
point
data.
of order. Based on 124.
The A11 will help ensure that what happens behind closed doors in the Attorney General's office sees the light of day. We can protect people's privacy while...
So you see there, you have Democrats who were impeding this guy in the Minnesota State House from talking about the fact that, again, this isn't like a conspiracy. Oh, it's racist, it's conspiracy. They're on tape. They're on tape talking together about these things. And they're on tape talking about the campaign contributions and doing this thing. And it's so obvious and dead to rights. But they're doing nothing about it from the top on down. The biggest organized crime in human history. All right, quick break. We'll be talking way more about this in the next segment. Don't go anywhere.
With riots and violent looting going on all over the country, I don't feel safe leaving the house without this banana. Normally, I would be worried about this creepy guy, but I've got my banana with me. That same car has been sitting outside my house for a while now. Better keep this banana by the door.
Sounds ridiculous, right? Now imagine this banana was capable of incapacitating an attacker from over 60 feet.
At Berna, we don't sell bananas. Go to Berna.com to learn more.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here, and our special continues on Somali fraud. How is it affecting you, your family? What can be done here? And just how deep does it go? Fox News host Will Cain did a breakdown of the now more than $1 billion that seems to be lost. Think about it, more than $1 billion of cash. It would have never even have been in question if we didn't allow this to happen. How is that a good deal? Even if it turns out that they stole a $990 million, or whether it's $1 billion or $10 billion, the fact that these people who came into the country as an act of charity would steal from us, and now we have to look into it and spend millions of dollars in government resources to track it down, it just goes to show you how broken the system is. Let's listen to Will Kane.
Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison. We see a web of connections between them and those directly involved in the fraud. For example, Ilhan Omar alleged enabling introducing the 2020 Meals Act, which was ultimately subject to fraud. Held a campaign victory party at the Safari restaurant. That's where one of the men who run that restaurant has associations to the convicted individuals. And then there's Tim Walz, House Oversight Investigation role in his role as governor. Or Keith Ellison, the Attorney General. His job is to enforce the law in Minnesota, but instead he's getting donations after meeting with the Feeding Our Future representatives. The Feeding Our Future, the biggest known yet part of this entire theft.
It's deep. And these are the people who are involved in it. These are the central members of it. So when Ilhan Omar does a fake attack on herself, she's right at the center of it. She's introducing the legislation to create the money from the federal government that flows into Minnesota. Ellison is responsible with the laws of Minnesota, and Tim Walz is responsible with carrying it all out, dishing out all the money. Do you see how broken? Do you see how these three people are the most vicious criminals, some of the most vicious in American history? I mean, Frankie, am I right here? It's like it could not be more of an organized crime lab if you tried. Ilhan Omar gets the money from federal appropriations. Ellison is the law enforcement buffer, supposedly. And Walz is the guy who takes the money from the federal appropriations and dishes it out to the right people. They're all so guilty. Yes.
Well, while Kash Patel goes after the old mob, there's clearly a new mob, and I mean racketeering charges. Yes. Can we get anything? I mean, Ilhan Omar, take all this away. She illegally got her brother into the country.
Yes.
By lying.
She married her brother.
Get her out of here. She should have been on thin ice before this. How are we at this point? And you said, does it matter? 900 million, $1 billion? I would argue if it was $5, Mike, it's unacceptable, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
It just shows how much these people detest us, how much they loathe the United States of America, how little they think of you. They think you're a sucker. They think you, the white American, are a sucker. And I'm telling you, this country isn't being undone by Somali fraudsters. It's being undone by the white liberals who were like, now again, there's not as many people making money on the fraud to where they can do it alone. They need to create public sentiment. And the fact that public sentiment has sympathy for these people, and that if you try to deport people, they say, well, I'm good with the deportations, but I don't like the heavy-handed tactics. How do you get rid of people that have a money spigot of billions of dollars set up in a nice little ring, which Will Kane just laid out? How do you get rid of those people exactly? Do you nicely give them a blankie and put them on a flight? How does that work? It's going to take a little muscle, don't you think? It's unbelievable. And here is, I believe we have this clip here of Tim Walz, who, again, at the center of this thing. That right there, Frankie. We got this Tim Walz right at the center of it. Let's roll this.
We're announcing a $56.6 million grant program that is coming out of the COVID Relief Fund money. That will go in front of the Legislative Council that will hopefully approve and send these on.
Governor Walz says the money is meant to support the increased costs and decreased revenue due to COVID-19. The grant program would be available to more than 6,000 home providers and 1,100 center providers. The governor also spoke on the potential of kids returning to school in the fall.
Do you see how it all links back? Where did Jill Biden, where was one of her last trips, Frankie? Where was one of her last trips? She went to Minnesota daycare facility. Right? Tim Walz announcing the funding of the Minnesota daycares. They're all in on it. Jill Biden just doesn't happen to find herself at a Minnesota daycare facility doing one of her last visits while she illegitimately occupies the White House. It's coordinated. And Tim Walz there announcing that. They're taking the COVID relief money. It also makes you think, and I've said this in previous shows, how COVID was obviously such a scam wealth transfer. I believe it was. I think it was basically a license to steal. It was a license to destroy real estate values in certain states. It was a license to cause, different migration patterns within the country. It was a license to crack down and set precedents on, the restrictions and obviously inject you with, the chemical experimental drug that many people put in their arms. It's like Tim Walz is just giving it away right there, telling us that he was at the center of it. So you think he just didn't know what he was doing? He's literally announcing it there on camera for the world to see that he was giving $50 million of daycare money, saying it proudly to Minnesota. Now that we know Minnesota daycare facilities are all a front for crime, do you think Tim Walz is at the center of crime and that he then should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law? Why not? They arrested Trump 4 times. We can't arrest some podunk Chinese communist loyal governor? By the way, Frank, I also was reading how Tim Walz has helped the Chinese Communist Party negotiate several contract deals and stuff like that. This is a bad guy. He's done 35 trips to China. This is not a normal guy.
I mean,
it's really bad.
It ain't Florida.
Yeah.
What?
It's bad. So Nick Shirley, who we all know by now, who rose to viral fame, he kind of broke the doors off this whole thing and exposed the fraud more than Kesh Patel could, which is a whole nother conversation. But Nick Shirley, it was continuing on with his work, and it's not just these isolated cases. Take a look at where his continued travels have taken him, and look at how these smug, arrogant Somalis get. I see the Somalis, they go, oh, U.S. Constitution, U.S. Constitution. These people don't give a shit about the U.S. Constitution. They probably don't even know what that is. They were giving a talking point to, I guess, say that if they were coming under fire about someone filming them. Oh, we have constitutional rights. Really? Do you know what that is? Do you know how to spell the word Constitution? Listen to these people, roll this.
We left and we headed over to the next building that had 22 of the same home health care providers operating from inside of the building.
Right here you have multicultural home care. And right here it says it's open, but can't even get in. Another Reliance Recovery Center. Mercy and Grace Care, Inc. Right here you have Denden Eritrean Youth Development Association of Minnesota. Another Child Care Center. Welcome to Bright Beginning Center. But what do you guys think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Sorry. No comments. Can I please?
Right here you have Serenity Quality Care. All of these businesses are literally the same type of business, providing the same service in the same building. Another Convenience Home Health Care, Aid, Inc., and Child Friendly Space. All these companies get money from the government. Why would you have the same company essentially inside of the same building, door to door? Right here, right. Queenly Home Health Care. It just does not make sense. If you were trying to operate a business, you'd want to have less competition. But here, they have all of their competition right next door. We're wondering, because we hear there's lots of fraud taking place here in Minnesota, and we're wondering, why is there so many of the same companies inside of this same building?
No, I don't know that.
What do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
I don't have any idea about that fraud, okay? Mm-hmm. That's it.
What do you think about the news articles and what's being spread on the news about the fraud?
Right now, you are doing something wrong.
I'm just asking you.
No, you
about
don't have
fraud.
to ask me, okay? Don't ask me that question again.
Okay.
Okay?
Who can I speak to?
Yeah?
Who can I speak to? Okay. As soon as you confront about the fraud, they get angry. When these people have these home healthcare companies, you're seeing them everywhere inside this building. What kind of fraud are they committing?
So there's false documentation being submitted to the state of Minnesota for services never provided. They're having forms signed in advance for services that were then never rendered. As far as a year or 2 years in advance, they'll have someone sign these forms at one sitting, and then they just file those with the state of Minnesota, and nobody from the state of Minnesota bothers to check that those services were ever provided.
So they're essentially just using people, saying that they had these services provided months or even years ago, then filing the paperwork and then receiving money from the government.
Right, and the Somali community is a very closed community. So everybody's in on it, and they don't want to talk, as you can see.
And for this building, I'm going to give an estimate of around $30 million for how much fraud is taking place. That is a very low estimate. However, still a lot of money in fraud.
And do you think there is fraud taking place here?
I don't know. Yeah.
Do you have any idea what any of these businesses are doing?
I never ask. I mean, just look. Just look at the people that he's talking to. I'm not racist. I'm not discriminatory. Like, that guy he looks like he's inbred.
He does.
He looks inbred.
Dang.
And all these people get angry. They get a little scowl. They get bristly when you talk about it, because this is their money machine. And he's totally right. If you were operating a daycare center and you needed to turn a profit business-wise, you wouldn't put 45 daycare centers in the same building, right? Don't you think you would try to space it out in the location? You know, you try to pick the best location where you can make money, where there'd be good foot traffic, or where people lived, where people had jobs, drop their kids off. You would do it away from other daycare facilities, so like you could corner that market. They're all in the same gross, rundown building. And then the Democrats will say, well, there's no evidence. That's what they'll say. They'll see that and they'll go, there's no evidence of fraud. And it's funny because they're like, oh, Nick Shirley goes and he goes there. And it's like, you know, they just weren't open at that time. So none of these businesses are ever open when Nick Shirley goes, ever. They're just never open. And by the way, why would a daycare center in the middle of the day, like they said, they open at 2 o'clock. So if you were there at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock, no one's in there working, setting up, opening the thing, manning the building, handling paperwork. Yes, Frankie.
It's just wild. There's so many levels to this. Like, Mike, that whole building, it's like, you know, office suites that you rent. You know, me and you rented for this show once upon a time. It's like,
yeah.
Those kind of businesses, you need window traffic, you need a sign, you know, you need foot traffic. That's how you get your business. So it's just clear they're just checking the box. Like, all right, look, we have it. Here's the LLC. Here's the location. Boom, boom, boom.
By the way, you bring up a good point, Frankie. It's not easy to get these rentals, okay? No. You also have to fill out extensive paperwork to get the rental in the building, okay? Frankie and I have done, you know, with this show, we've had to rent space where they don't want to give it to us because, you know, we're podcasting and they say it's a loud thing and we're going to make noise because we're, you know, doing a lot of, like, you know, production. It's like, okay, but these people all, like the owners of the buildings, were just able to give it to them. Yeah. They check your credit. They check the history. They go, well, if your business doesn't have a history of credit, we're going to check the personal credit of the person personally responsible. How do these people have a credit history to open up and get that lease in the building? How does that work exactly?
Also, Mike, when you have neighbors like that, like they're just going to allow you to have a daycare with a bunch of screaming children all day. That doesn't make sense either. You wouldn't get an application approved. You know, there's a lot weird about this.
It's genuinely horrible. It really is genuinely horrible. But it continued on. This is like random and it's funny, but I like it. Former Major League Baseball pitcher John Rocker, who, by the way, was ahead of his time. I mean, he had that very viral clip, Frank, you know what I'm talking about, where he said, "Oh, I would never want to play for, you know, New York because you take the train. He said you take the 7 train, and it seems like you're in Beirut. You got all the foreigners. They don't speak English. You know, they're this or that." And it's like he wasn't wrong. He just said it 15 years too early. I mean, you know, so the guy is somewhat of a, you know, prophecy. But John Rocker went to some of these locations, and you just got to watch this. Watch it.
Oye. Unga. I'm being screamed at in some kind of Swahili. Here, come here. Film in there. Oh. All right, here we go. Here comes the fucking costume. My wife dropped my son off in this location. I need to come pick him up for a doctor's appointment. Yes, here. LeBron. No, unless my wife's lying to me.
No, I'm not an officer. I'm an evidence. No, I'm a reporter.
They got my kid in there, LeBron. Something I'm not good with.
Maybe you can provide insight or information.
Yes, now we have a license. Ask them. Go to the online and ask our license. This is not your job.
No, it is my job to investigate the use of public funds.
Tell me if you have children. I'm not looking for your
I don't need permission. I'm a citizen of Ohio, and I'm a taxpayer, and I'm actually here as an investigative reporter simply to ask you if you receive government funding, if you've been visited, and what your impression is of the allegations.
Seems like really normal owners of daycares. You know, owners of daycares would say, "Get out of here," and they start yelling. Like, you know, usually the people who are at daycare centers are like really nice and sweet, and, you know, like they get vicious and angry. If you say, "I'm here to pick up my kid," they see a white person, they get vicious and angry. And you can see they go, "It's not your right." They just have an attitude that is just so bad, Frankie. It's just vile and evil.
I will say there's a void here, Mike. There's a lot of potential energy that could just be behind one based Somalian to just go undercover and blow the whole roof off and start a whole political career.
I don't think they have the capability.
Yeah, clearly.
That's true. That Somali would be a hero. But I think what would happen is, like in Somalia, I think the punishment for that is like you get like eaten alive, like cannibalized or something like that. So, you know, I guess that's what they're afraid of. But it really is an unbelievable sight that we're witnessing. It's happening in Ohio. I saw several clips of it happening in Ohio, and that was mentioned again by Keith Ellison. Are they going to try to move them into Ohio? What happens if a Democrat governor wins Ohio? You know, they call it a swing state. What happens if a Democrat governor wins Ohio? Are they just going to take Ohio and plunge it into the next Minnesota? What are they going to do for all these states? Everyone's like, oh, you know, people are, you know, like my state of New Jersey, they're like, oh, you know, I would say New Jersey is the most moved out of state in the country. It is. And people are like, oh, but it's also the most moved into state. Yeah, nobody from America is moving into New Jersey. It's all foreigners. How is that a good thing? How is that a normal thing? How is that not a coordinated replacement? The same people in the state, the people in the newspaper in New Jersey said that I'm a conspiracy theory for the great replacement. It seems like a great replacement to me. Absolutely vile and disgusting. But we have much more coming here, and we're going to talk about it coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It will encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. For 50 years, I've watched Washington betray the American people with dishonest money. Nixon's closure of the gold window made endless debt and war inevitable. Today, our middle class, our currency, and our economy are dying in real time. In my new book, Dispatches to Future Generations, I reveal how we got here, plus the solution, gold. And that's why I'm partnering with Birch Gold Group to give you a free copy of my book along with their free info kit on gold. Click below to get both right now. Inside the info kit, you'll learn how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold. So click below to claim your free copy of my Dispatches to Future Generations and Birch Gold's info kit today.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again.
Please scan the QR code to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Thank you for standing in the gap.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here. And, we're talking about third worlders infiltrating our country. How about the third worlder who infiltrated New York City government and took it over? Isn't that interesting? I wonder how that's going. Now, over the last couple of days in New York, we've had, massive snowfall last couple of weeks, okay? Massive snowfall. And I don't know if Zoran Madami's ever seen snow in Uganda, but a lot of snow on the ground. It's messy, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But it made me wonder, how is this city just going to get run on the day-to-day? He's a Democrat socialist. He's in there. He's got to do things like keep the roads paved, keep the crime down. He comes from the third world, so, how is he exactly going to implement that? How's it going to go? He always films these little hokey videos, he likes to do these performative videos like he was doing on the campaign trail. What's the future of New York City going to look like? The greatest city in the world that elected a third worlder after we got attacked on September 11th by third worlders and some other people. What's it going to look like? Is it going to stay together? Is it going to crumble and fall apart? I think we have our answer in the first couple of weeks from Zoran. A bizarre clip here. Roll it.
We are speaking about a fiscal crisis at the scale greater than the Great Recession. And so there will not be one single thing that can answer that crisis. It will require us to pursue every single avenue. That means looking inward into savings and efficiencies. That also means raising taxes on the wealthiest New Yorkers and the most profitable corporations. And it means recalibrating the relationship with the state.
So, wait a minute. So the city that pays the most in taxes in the world now is saying that they don't have any money? Now, I understand that New York City is probably a little bit more difficult to run than, let's call it, any city in Florida. I understand it's a bigger place, more people. But you take a shit ton more money in. So where did all that money go? And by the way, when I look around New York City, again, $1 billion budget, you don't see anything. You don't see paved roads. They're a joke. You see messy infrastructure. You see crime. You see trash bags all over the place because the garbage people aren't coming. New York City is a shell of itself. The buses don't run on time. The subway is dirty and slow. The homeless are all over the place. The red tape is out of control. Taxes, permits, fees, etc. How can you live in a city like that? And then Zoran says, no, we've taken the most from you, but now we need to raise more. Do you know why people vote for Zoran? Do you know how Democrats say this repeatedly and get away with it? Is because their voters don't even pay taxes. How much money do you have to make, Frankie, to start paying taxes? If you make under if you make under $25,000, you don't pay taxes. You make under these people make $0 of independent income. They make money from the state, but when you make welfare, you don't pay taxes on welfare. Think about how crazy that is for a minute. You're just imagine a life where you're not paying taxes. Just think about that for a minute. You're not paying taxes. You're making nothing. You get money from the state. That's it. So when they hear Zoran say we need to raise more taxes because we're going to have a financial problem, they think, I need to vote for Zoran because he's going to raise taxes to help me afford my EBT. And then you have, I think the statistic was, it's I don't remember what the number was, but it was astronomically high. It was what was it, Frankie? 5 in 10 or 10, I don't know what the number was. 5 in 10 people rely on EBT assistance in New York or something like that. Yeah. It was a really high, it was an astronomically high number. I think it was 4 in 10 or 5 in 10 people. So you're telling me that 40 to 50% of the population has zero net positive worth to the economy. So we give to them. How is that a sustainable process? They have zero net worth. And the most profitable corporations are going to pay more. Yes, Frank.
Over 30% of New York City households, rely on EBT. About 21% of the population, which is wild.
So how can you have a city that functions and blame people who are working and already paying the highest taxes in the world. How can you, what if Zoran just said, everybody here is not working, taking EBT. We want to take half of those people and turn them into taxpayers. We want to turn them into productive members of society. So they then can pay taxes, and they then stop us having to spend so much money on these programs. But wouldn't that solve the problem? But they'll never say that, because that would piss off their subhuman voting bloc. This is where we're at right now. We have systems in place that were designed with good virtue, welfare. It makes sense. We're the richest country in the history of the world. We can't help our own that are really suffering on hard times. I believe in that. But it just gets bastardized because these people have no moral compass. That's what it comes down to. No faith base, no moral compass. And this is what we get. And by the way, I mentioned out in New York it was snowing. Were they even able to get the bus stops plowed in the midst of the snow so people can get to work? Remember the fast free buses? Hey, Zoran, before you do fast free buses, how about you figure out how to plow the bus stops, you idiot? Roll it.
Okay, there's somebody having to walk in Madison Avenue, running up to try to catch the bus because here is a bus shelter. It is on Madison Avenue and 49th Street, and it does not have a path to be able to access the bus. It's got snow piled in front of it. Here we go. There's that one. And then guess what? Take a look down here.
It's the best independent journalism.
Another bus shelter, and snow piled in front of it. No path to get from the shelter to the bus on Madison Avenue.
Yeah, so we can't even plow the path for people to get onto the bus. So how are we going to afford fast, free buses when right now we can't even afford the snow removal in a 5-foot radius so people can wait at the bus stop? How's that going to happen? Zoran said, we're going to head for the Great Recession in New York City. We need to tax more. Frankie, your thoughts?
We have a lot of problems, Mike. New York City has a lot of problems, but one of those problems is not that we need more taxes. I can tell you that much. And, after COVID and all these companies moving to Florida and Texas, I mean, for him to just get up there and basically shout that there's like an emergency of the state, like it almost looks like he's prepping himself for like to put some emergency mandates down, to get some legislation passed that can't be done, because it's just like, dude, you're in here for how long? And you're just saying, oh my goodness, there's the biggest problem in the world. We got to bring up your taxes. We got to do this. It's like, dude, how much more can these companies pay? It's like, and let's just be real. Start with the scaffolding, okay? If you've been to New York City recently, there is scaffolding everywhere. Why? Because it keeps the building from being liable if anything just falls off. Because, look, I don't know, we have the scaffolding up, so they never take it down. It must be required. Unless there is construction or a current possibility of something caving, get rid of the scaffolding. It's disgusting, and all the homeless people do pull-ups on it. All right? Just from one New Yorker to another.
That's what we call the crackhead strength, when they start doing pull-ups on the bar. No, it's absolutely disgusting. Again, it resembles third worldism. I said it earlier in the show, how you go around and you look around, and then if you go into a foreign country, you look on the street and you go, why does this street look third world? Go take a look at how New York City used to look. Trump posted this meme of people walking down the street in New York, like back in like the 60s or something like that. And people are like, that's racist. Why is it racist? Because it looked nice? I don't understand. Like, are the leftists saying when they call that racist that because it looked nice, it's racist? I mean, what are they getting at there? So unbelievable.
Our streets used to be so nice, Mike, that our immigrants thought that the streets were paved in gold. And when they got here, they were like, these will work. These are good enough. That's right. How beautiful they were. Okay.
That's right. You ever see the videos and pictures of that? That's when we had a European country, not Somalis. All right, quick break. We'll be right back to wrap the show. Don't go anywhere.
With riots and violent looting going on all over the country, I don't feel safe leaving the house without this banana. Normally, I would be worried about this creepy guy, but I've got my banana with me. That same car has been sitting outside my house for a while now. Better keep this banana by the door.
Sounds ridiculous, right? Now imagine this banana was capable of incapacitating an attacker from over 60 feet.
At Berna, we don't sell bananas. Go to Berna.com to learn more.
Don't kibble your dog.
Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, back.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff.
Let's check it out. It's still kibble, which means it's ultra-processed at extremely high temperatures that destroy the nutrients in the food. But at Dr. Marty, we gently freeze-dried premium meats, fruit, and vegetables, locking in their nutrients.
Never kibbled.
You got it, kid, and they're gonna love it.
There are a few things more aggravating than seeing your tax dollars wasted by the government. All too often, when big government tries to save the day, the funds sent around the world to help people in need are diverted by corrupt leaders to line their own pockets, enrich their cronies, or further an agenda that has nothing to do with helping their countrymen. You can do a better job at promoting freedom than any government can. Scan the QR code now or visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV today to join the worldwide freedom movement. With your gift of just $19 a month, we'll send you an Atlas Network exclusive hat. Plus, we'll send the print edition of our Freedom's Champion magazine to your door. We identify, train up, and celebrate local leaders as they work to make freedom a reality across the world. Our partners often risk everything: their reputations, their livelihoods, even their lives to fight for freedom in places where authoritarianism reigns. Visit atlasnetwork.org/RAV or scan the QR code to join our mission to help pro-freedom organizations around the world. Donate $19 a month to receive your exclusive Atlas Network hat.
And welcome back to the show, everybody. Mike Crispy here, and we've been talking in this episode about the large-scale fraud in which we are being, I guess, subjected to by our leaders, by some of them at least, by many of them. And I really think that the number one thing that the Senate Republicans and the House Republicans need to get done is the SAVE Act. If those of you who do not know, the SAVE Act is the changing of how federal elections take place. Now, you're not going to solve the entire world on this because the jurisdiction of the federal government, can obviously only be extended to federal elections. You can't really make it for local elections. But right now, the way it is that elections are not federalized. Elections are all done at the local level, even elections for the federal level. So the Democrats have always said that they want to change that. The Democrats want to pass legislation to basically, codify the non-need to have any type of ID or proof of anything. It's funny because the Antifa thugs were asking journalists in the area to show their ID to prove they're not ICE, but when you go vote, ID is racist and doesn't matter, right? That's what they say. So the thought process on the SAVE Act is you create a necessity for voter ID and basic things in federal level elections, and states then must enforce it because it's federal law, and federal law trumps state law, and everybody knows that's how it works, except for, I guess, the DA of Philadelphia. But the SAVE Act is something that John Thune hasn't seemed to have spoken a lot about. He's the Senate leader, but this thing needs to pass. If this thing doesn't pass, I myself will be, after Trump will be done with the Republican Party if they cannot pass the SAVE Act. The whole thing will need to be ripped down because there will be a bunch of freaking clowns if they cannot get the SAVE Act passed. Because let me tell you something, when a law is enacted and signed into law, it's very hard to get a law unsigned into law. It's very, very hard to do. So the fact that Republicans have an opportunity to pass the SAVE Act and create these basic things, and then Democrats then will have to try to undo it and do their own bill where they're saying like no voter ID, like it'd be very hard to do. So you would then, in essence, save the sanctity of congressional elections and presidential elections. That would prevent the cheating in those elections from occurring if we get the SAVE Act passed. Now, again, that's not going to stop the cheating in governor elections. It's not going to stop the cheating in state legislature races, and those are very important things. But this is something. And if Republicans cannot get this done, they have proven they can't do anything. Let's listen to John Thune.
Passing the SAVE Act as well as many MAGA Republicans, what is the holdup
co-sponsored the SAVE Act in the past. I think my understanding is that they are still modifying the bill. It includes right now a requirement that you be a citizen to register to vote, but it doesn't include a requirement that to vote you be a resident. So in other words, if you're going to have what we call voter ID or photo ID when somebody goes into the ballot box to vote, that's not currently covered in the bill. So that's being fixed and addressed, and I think the new bill that comes out hopefully will deal with that.
That's interesting, is that these people act like they're so smart, John Thune, Langford next to him. It's like, what are you, not going to curse. But it's like, but dude, you didn't have that in the version of the bill? You have to go edit it? Like, nobody thought about that? It's like, what kind of freaking scam are these guys running? That's why I have no respect. I tell you, people who respect politicians are sheep losers. And I'm trying to pick my words carefully here. Because these people aren't. Look at these people. They're not smart. They're pawns. And then when they have a little bit of an ego, they always have egos. Like they're so smart and important. It's like, oh yeah, really? Okay, genius. So you're meaning to tell me you had a bill that you put out, but the people who wrote the bill, your people, they forgot to put in the fact that, only citizens can vote? What? It just doesn't sound right to me. So if they don't pass it, this is the litmus test. This is the watershed. It's over for the Republican Party after Trump's over if they don't pass the SAVE Act. They don't deserve anything. The Democrats are playing for keeps. Take a look at this.
A judge is throwing out the boundaries of the only congressional seat in New York City represented by a Republican. The judge is ordering the state to redraw the district ahead of the midterm elections. The seat for Southern Brooklyn and Staten Island is currently held by Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis. Republicans are expected to appeal that decision.
So the judge threw out the congressional map in New York for that district because it wasn't minority enough and it was gerrymandered. Take a look at the geography there. It's a solid blob. Do you see the way they do like the snaking geographies on these congressional maps to try to get in like the left-wing cities and stuff like that? That's not a very gerrymandered district if you ask anybody. It's an entire freaking island called Staten Island. It's the whole island. And then part of Southern Brooklyn, which is right on the other side of the island. How is that gerrymandered? I'll tell you, they play for keeps. Will the Republicans play for keeps with the SAVE Act? Let's see. All right, guys, that's all the time that we have on the show today. We love you. We appreciate you. What an episode. We thank you, and we'll see you back live next week.
Mama, look.
It's just like our new house.
Warranty!
I hope you have an American Home Shield warranty. Leaky toilet? Fixed. Clogged AC coils? Fixed. Oven beyond repair? Ta-da! If AHS can't fix your covered item, then replace it, no matter its age.
A warranty is smart.
Oh, a happy family.
Is that us?
Too much. American Home Shield. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Hey folks, it's your friend John Rich. I co-founded Old Glory Bank because we heard too many stories about people getting canceled by their bank because they didn't agree with their politics. The government wanted to know where you shop. If you bought a Bible or you shopped at a sporting goods store, you're probably on a list. We created Old Glory Bank because America needed a bank that would protect their privacy and security. Exercising your constitutional rights is not a criminal activity, and neither is loving your country. At Old Glory Bank, we stand with you.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
We were prosecuted, persecuted.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again. Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
And welcome to Cow Baby Logic. I'm Little Donna Fiducia.
And I'm Little Donnie Newen.
And boy,
do we have a show.
for you.
Hey, Donna.
Yes, Donnie?
Can you reach your microphone?
Nope.
This is gonna be a long show.